What's up, traders? It's Trades here. Let's do a post-market analysis for the 11th of November 2024, which was the Monday. We had a bank holiday on for dollar in the US and also Canada and France. So I wasn't really expecting much to be happening when going into the day. So let's just see how it played out. So I said yesterday in my pre-market analysis, I'm bearish for the week. We had this strong bearish candle that took out liquidity above this high, this order block, and closed quite strongly. And I was anticipating price to come to this sell side liquidity, which price has already taken out. I do believe we can continue the lower into this lower sell side liquidity, and I will be aiming for that going into this week. So it didn't really get any bearish trend today. I did have a bullish trade after we took out this initial sell side liquidity, and I'll go into that later on at the end of this video as a trade review. So there's going to be a separate section for that, but let's just look at today. So yeah, we opened up with a gap initially this morning. We gapped down, right, which will be clearer on the lower time frames with this bullish candle right here, which opened, price closed up there last week at this candle and then dropped down here for the weekly open this week and then pushed up and then just continued lower. Look how it reacts after this open candle. It tries to push up and then we get this inside bar doji kind of candle that takes out lows, you know, inside this candle, and you'd anticipate price to continue higher up because we'd just take it. Well, I don't think we'd taken anything out, but yeah, you know, because it's Monday, you're not predicting bank holiday, you're not predicting price to continue lower, but then we just get a bearish close candle failing to push above this high, and then after that we continue lower until we come down to this low. You know, on the weekly time frame, this is the little gap that we've seen, which price is currently closing below. Honestly, that doesn't even matter. I was looking at this sell side liquidity mainly going into the day, and then after we started to close below that, I was watching this. Honestly, the only trade that I saw that had potential this morning was during London Open at the 1 a.m. candle. So before London Open at 7 a.m. between 7 a.m. Essentially at 7, between 7 and 8 a.m. at the pullback of this range right here would probably have been a good entry to go short because price came up. All right, prediction is down to this sell side liquidity. After this strong displacement down, price pulled into this fair value gap and put in a swing high, pulled back, gapped, and then pushed up and then put in a swing high that took liquidity off that swing high before and then failed to continue higher. Then we had this bearish engulfing candle, price pushed up and, you know, tapped into essentially a retracement with inside this fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame, which it holds, and then it just drops, which didn't really give me any entry. I'm not really entering around here on a Monday, so that would have been an ideal trade, but I missed that. And then yeah, we continued to go lower until we came into this weekly time frame gap at this sell side liquidity, and then starting to just consolidate and range around that area. As price came to that low, one of the main things that I was watching was how this candle printed, which is a very good reversal candle depending on where it comes, or continuation candle, honestly depends on the context. Given the context right now in euro dollar going into the week, we are bearish, but we have come into Monday, you know, New York session, we displaced lower already. We've, you know, made some moves, bearish moves. We're not predicting, or say you've got CPI, PPI coming in, that I'm expecting price to drive those, drive price higher up before those news come out, or at least into this range, right? So I am expecting some kind of a pullback, and seeing this bearish candle that took out the highs before, and well, highs and lows of the candle before, which also happens to be a bullish pin bar, and this just was showing me that price might actually want to continue higher up. I'm not sure until when. We might find some resistance at the high of this candle. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out tomorrow. but I was hoping price would pull lower and take out the low of this candle and then provide me with some kind of an entry, and then I would have entered at that low. But we didn't get that, and we're just starting to currently trade inside that range. That's euro dollar. I'm just going to wait and see how price plays out tomorrow. I'll be looking for opportunities to short, and we'll just have to wait and see what market does tomorrow London session. With pound dollar, I'm not as convinced as for the bearish move as I am with euro dollar. We have, this fair value gap that price is looking to fill up, and we have this order block right here on the weekly time frame, which I'm watching. Those are the main 2 points where I believe price can come and find support. Like I said on the euro dollar, right, we've got similar candle on pound dollar right here, where we took out liquidity of the previous candle and the low of the previous candle, and right now price is just looking to trade below or above that, and by the looks of it, we might come down and take out that low, and we can find some kind of a support. We've also got that weekly time frame fair value gap, weekly time frame order block around that area. So honestly, I will definitely be watching that level tomorrow, which we got news coming out at 7 a.m. The jobs news for pound, and that might push price down to those lows where you can look for opportunities to go long. Or I will look for opportunities to go long. With pound dollar, right, we made this aggressive push up into this range deep in discount. We held these fair value gaps. We failed to close above. Right, we didn't completely fill the imbalance, and we just continued lower. Look how after putting this pin bar, low wick pin bar, and holding this bullish pin bar, price just fails to push higher up, which is just evident that we are gonna continue down with this bearish swing, and then we continue lower. We close below this inverse fair value gap, tap into it on Friday morning, and then continue lower. And at the moment, similar to euro dollar, it does the exact same thing. We come up, take the liquidity off this high from Friday during Asian session, and then we put in this bearish engulfing candle where price, this was a good trade. I didn't enter this, but this would have been a good trade, which is if you're looking to go short, right? We had this order block. Essentially, we had this displacement after this liquidity grab, market structure shift, fair value gap, and then order block, and price pulls into that fair value gap above that order block, or even the swing on a 15-minute time frame, and then continues lower. Yeah, that would have been a good trade, but it was something I was watching, but it's not something I'm confident in taking. Like I said, yeah, we have this swing high from London session right there. That was taken out, and then price displaced lower and continued to go lower. And unlike euro dollar, it didn't take out any swing lows and highs for me, so there weren't any trades to counter. So let's see how pound dollar plays out tomorrow. I do believe, or I do think it can come down during the London session. All right now it might just consolidate, ease in range, take out some swings. There isn't any fair value gap except for this one right there. There's loads of order blocks, too many for my liking, and well, we got these equal highs on the 15-minute. We might take out this high then tomorrow, we'll see, or maybe we've already taken out one high. I'm just gonna have to wait and see for the news to come out. If the news just drops price down to these fair value gaps, or even that order block, ideally I want to see order block, fair value gap both being tapped, and then I will look for opportunities to go long, but until then, not a lot. So let's do that review for the euro dollar, the trade that I took. So the trade I took was after price took out this sell side liquidity, the first one. Let's just get rid of everything else. Right, we took out that sell side liquidity. We, on the 15-minute, slightly clearer, put in a pullback, which to me suggests, right, price failed to continue higher, and then it started to push lower. It's an early sign of buyers coming into the market. So it's quite an aggressive entry. Buyers coming into market. We hadn't taken that sell side liquidity, so I wasn't looking to trade at all. That happened, and then on the 5-minute, this is where I traded. I saw this accumulation happening right there. And this comes after London session, just before New York Open. So I am expecting some kind of a retracement or pullback during that time. I dropped down to the 1 minute time frame, which is probably not something I usually do, so it's kind of an aggressive entry because of that. So yeah, price, this is exactly what I was watching. We formed this range, this order block, and then we put in this pin bar, doji pin bar, and this what I was anticipating price to be a bullish engulfing candle, which it isn't. So I entered before this trade on the 1 minute time frame when I saw price fail to hold this bullish pin bar, and as this candle was printing right around there, I believe. So yeah, right around here, after this candle printed, I went long immediately, anticipating price to continue higher. Honestly, hindsight, I was quite aggressive too early. I don't normally drop down to the 1 minute time frame, so I don't know what I was doing. I should be waiting for this candle to close, and that would have been a better entry to go long, because I was anticipating next candle to be a bullish engulfing candle. I'm still anticipating that, so I just left the trade be, and this candle forms, and I exited my trade. On the other pair, yeah, it was somewhere around here. I exited with 0.95% in total, but this is good. Too aggressive because I shouldn't be waiting, you know. I should have waited for a slightly more aggressive move down after this accumulation, and I'm not anticipating price to pull back into this range. I was only waiting for an engulfing candle, saw 1-to-1, and I exited the trade, and then immediately, right, that's an order block. Price puts this candle, low wick candle, fails to push up, low wick candle, fails to push up. People are anticipating, because we've taken out sell side liquidity, right, we might continue higher up, but then we continue lower. Again, another entry could have been here potentially because we took out this low, but I wasn't watching. And by this point, because it's not a time that I want to trade, we've passed that post-London session, 7 to 8 New York session. I'm not really trading. 7:30 wouldn't have been a bad trade, but I've already traded, so I'm not looking to trade again. And then we continue lower, which I've stopped looking to trade by this point. And we come down and take out the New York session low one more time. I was waiting for price to take out the low one more time, and then I would have looked for opportunities to go long, but it doesn't do that, and then it continues higher, and then I'm not really interested in trading anything after that. So yeah, just a very small, almost a 5 pip trade. Not an ideal trade if you're trading a huge account, just scalping, proper scalping trade. But yeah, that's the trade. I forgot to mention the main reason for entry was because I trade channels. This is a perfect channel. We had price accumulating, manipulating, right? Lower time frame, we had accumulation, manipulation, and I'll just enter in the manipulation with a very, very short risk reward on a Monday against the trend. I'm not looking to catch. I'm not expecting a reversal. So yeah, that's the trade, and it was a good trade for me because I followed the rules that I'm supposed to.